I just don't think there's a more positive program to be a part of. I mean, I went through this whole year feeling nothing but support and appreciation from everyone in the program. And that's not normal for being involved coaching a program like this. So you guys have all just been such quality people, such quality boys showing up, reflecting that character. So I'm just so thankful, and I'm grateful for the season that we had together. I love that we're eating tacos together, and that this is how this community does it around here. So thank you so much for that. And I'm excited to celebrate with everyone tonight. But we'll start with Coach Ryan and the Frosh team, and start talking about the boys.
All right. You guys hear me? Kind of? Cool. Haven't had a microphone before. So this is a great season, coming back from like the 2 COVID years in a row, which was pretty hard on the boys. Can you hear me? Yeah. Test. Yeah, coming back from the 2 COVID years with the boys, it was kind of tough. We didn't get that many matches in last season. I was hoping it was going to be a little bit different this season, and luckily it was. We came out the Bay League champs. We didn't really get to beat JV Redondo, which we kind of set out to, but still came out really strong in the JV tournament and made it to the semis and played really hard. I wish we got another crack at that Redondo team, but still had a really solid season. All right, so first off, we have Mason Reese, our libero, one of the most talkative kids on the teams in a positive way. Always making really good digs out there, being a really good team player. Appreciate everything that he did for our team. Good job, Mason. All right, I do not believe this person is here, but we have Jimmy Maloney. Jimmy, are you here? Jimmy's dad's over there playing some volleyball. All right. So Jimmy came in as an outside. We had some really solid outside hitters this season, and we moved him over to the middle about halfway through season, and he became a stud out there. Trying to learn the ropes of a middle blocker is always tough, but he came out there every single day and worked hard. So I appreciate having him on the team. All right, next we got Mac. Mac was one of the players that a coach always wants on his team. He was always respectful, always working hard, always making his teammates better. Wow, good job, Mac. Always making his teammates better. One of our most consistent outside hitters. Good job, Mac. Next, we have Zach Kwan. Not sure if Zach's here either. One of the things that I loved about him was he was like the silent assassin. He was very quiet. It was hard to get him to talk, but he was out there and he would make the most insane digs that our team would think would be going down, and they would pop right back up. So he was one of the biggest studs on the team in regards to our passing and defense. So Zach Kwan. Next, we got Drew Miller. Don't think Drew's here either. Yeah, didn't get to play a lot in the beginning of season, but came out and was there for every single practice. Even though he wasn't playing, he was there every practice, every match, just ready to go in. Every time he was ready, telling me, Coach, I'm ready to go, I'm ready to go. So I appreciate having him on the team. Another one who I do not think is here, Logan Ball. Yeah, I wish he was here. Like I said, he was one of the ones that I think that was our only true middle that we had for the last 2 seasons. So it was good to have him on the team, good to help him grow as a player and kind of...
It's offensive to Ryan Scalaris. He's a real middle.
Real middle? True. I don't think he wants to be called a true middle, but definitely true. Yeah, Logan came out every single day ready to work. Working hard in the gym, had just a really positive attitude, so he had a really good impact on our team. Next, we got Lundy. Lundy, one of the guys who every time he got on that court, everybody would be cheering for, making chants on the side, just always bringing a really good energy to our team, not only in practice, Not only in practice, but in the games as well. So good job, Lundy. All right, next we got Jack Jadon. He also was one of our players that came in as an outside. Started out splitting a little bit of time with Carson. And he asked me what can I do to get playing time and if he should switch over to the opposite. He switched over to the opposite. Switched over to be opposite, and the very next game, he only had one practice as an opposite. The very next game, he came out and put in work. He was putting away the ball at a high rate, giving us a D-ball presence, which was really good, and he kept that position throughout the whole season. So, good job. All right, next we got Jack Phillips. Jack Phillips. My tall lefty opposite came in not playing volleyball too much to start and came out a really strong force. I could put him in whenever I needed a big block at that opposite position, and he was always there ready to work hard, good attitude. And we were definitely blessed to have him there. All right, next we got Carter Gentry. Another one of our opposites, I think our only right-handed opposite that started on the team. Every day there, just working hard in practice, always had good energy, good attitude, had a really heavy arm swing, and we were lucky to have him on the team. All right, next we got Luke Kershaw. Luke, definitely one of our better passers on the team, one of our most consistent outsides. I think this is my second year having him, and it was awesome having him here the second year because he was definitely one of the coach's players. He was there asking me if I need help with anything, and always had good volleyball questions to ask. So good job, Luke. Next we got Connor Spriggs. Again, coming from a libero, switching over to being a setter, which is probably one of the hardest things to do. He had a really good attitude throughout the whole entire season. Every time he would do anything, he would always ask me for any feedback. Always asking for feedback, doing anything he could to try and get better. So good job. Next, we got Trent Zimmerman. Trent, another one of the quiet guys. Another one of the quiet players. He definitely brought some good energy to the team. Every time he got out there, his hard work ethic always, made the whole entire team rally behind him, and it was good to have him there. Next, we got Colin Bosvert. Another heavy-handed left-handed opposite. Came out a little bit tentative from the opposite position, and then I told him just hit the ball as hard as you can, and he came out and was putting in work the whole rest of the season, and he was definitely a force to be reckoned with out there. Next, I do not think he's here, Buck Heineman. No Buck. Again, another one of our liberos that came in and wanted to be a setter, and him as well as Lundy and Spriggs all fought for that position, and Buck won it out. And throughout the whole season, he was definitely a character. He was tough to deal with at sometimes, but when he wanted to dial it in, he was that one person who everybody kind of looked up to on the team and knew that he was there ready to play, and he was going to put it all in for the team. So, Buck Heineman. Next, we got Luke Phillips. Another one of the Phillips brothers. Again, didn't come in with too much volleyball playing experience, but I think he left. As one of the most improved players on the team by far. He, like I said, started out not knowing the game too much, and then came out being one of the better passers, better passing outsides, and had a heavy arm and learned the game top to bottom. So good job, Luke. Next, we got our middle, Ryan Scolaris. Yep, this is...
Ryan's not a middle, he's a volleyball player.
Yeah, there we go. Yep, so yeah, unfortunately for him, he was one of the most athletic players on the team, and he showed me that he could be a really consistent, positive force in the middle, and I ran with that throughout the whole season. And he played really, really well. Always had a good attitude, always working hard in practice, so I appreciate having him on the team.
Yeah.
All right, last but not least, Carson Knapp. Again, one of our starting outsides, really consistent all the way around. Every time he would be in practice and he would have something that he was struggling with, he would ask me, hey, coach, can you watch this? Can you let me know what I'm doing wrong? So always there trying to get better, trying to better his position and make sure that he's, doing everything that he has to do to be able to help the team. So that is our Frosh team. All right, so now to the awards. So MVP, you could think it all is geared towards how they play in matches and what you guys see. But I think MVP is much more than that. It's something that's not only consistently they're doing the right things throughout practice, but they're doing the right things outside of practice, which is something that you can't really ask from everybody. They're all freshmen. They're all going through changes, learning about themselves. But this person was somebody that not only on the court, but off the court in practice, no matter what it was always doing the right things. It just so happened that he was one of our most consistent outsides on the team. So MVP, Mac Bedner.
Mac, you don't have to come back up if you don't want to. We're making some plaques that will be ready for you guys soon. We don't have them to hand to you today, but MVP, Mac. Congratulations, Mac.
Good job, Mac. For the next one, another one that I feel, this is the general excellence one. This is something that goes from, getting your schoolwork done, doing the right things on the court, off the court, pretty much all the way around. And then a really good, strong player for us that was always looking to get better, always had a good attitude, always doing the right thing inside and outside of practice. So Carson Knapp. All right, next one is most improved. I think this one is pretty obvious because coming from a libero starting out the season, he came in as a libero. He told me he's never set before, and I was like, okay, we got some work to do. But he put in the work, he put in the time, and he was just really, really engaged for the most part throughout all of our games and practices. So most improved goes to Buck Heineman. All right, and last but not least, most inspirational. Inspiration can come from a bunch of different ways. I think this person was inspirational not only because of the transitions he made during the course of our season, but also just the inspirational, how he acted around the guys, how he acted around the team, how he acted around me. It was an inspiration. It was also an inspiration, some of the big plays that he would get throughout the games. He would be the guy that would go up and get this huge block that would go straight down and just rally our entire team. So most inspirational, Jack Jadon. All right, let's get one more round of applause for our Frosh guys.
And two more quick things that we have to make sure we touch on for the Frosh team. First of all, there was a manager on the Frosh team who was kind of the manager of the entire program this year, but we're going to acknowledge him right now with the Frosh team. There's really no words to explain how much D-Bus did for our team this year. D-Bus was unbelievably helpful to me. He's my buddy. He's my friend. He was everyone's friend on the team. He was not just a guy that we were like, that we didn't mind having around. As time went on, he became extremely helpful to me in practice, literally running the practice every day. I counted on him and needed him, and he was huge for us. He was also, I think, one of the most inspirational guys that this program's had at any level for a long time. So we really love you, Bus. Thank you. And then I get to say a few words about the coach of the Frosh team. From really early on in my time head coaching the program, as the story is, as I started, the freshman coach was Coach Greg. Shortly after that, Coach Greg came up and helped us with the varsity that season. We became best friends, and that's how we continued to coach together as long as we have. Coach Greg finished out, this is 2018, he finished out coaching the freshman team that year and helped with the varsity, and then the next year he was full-time with the varsity, and that year Coach Ryan Olson joined us and has been here ever since coaching the Frosh team. I can't think of a better person for this particular position because of how passionate he is about teaching volleyball, how committed he is to development and the development of good team habits, as far as making sure he's coaching a team with good where good behavior gets rewarded and good character and good citizenship gets rewarded. And these guys are refined in their volleyball game and just sort of the way they play as a team before they come up the next couple levels. And Ryan has just taught everyone so well. So he's my buddy. I hope we have him for a long time. He may have higher levels calling his name, but we're really, really, really stoked on you, man, and thank you, bro. Thank you, Coach Ryan. Awesome freshman coach. And we have a gift for you here. Thanks, bro. And thank you, Frosh Soft parents. Thank you all so much for this season. Give yourself one more round of applause. Frosh team, parents, for everything that you put in. Frosh boosters. Thank you, guys. Okay, Coach Shano, we're going to move on to the junior varsity. Coach Shano, I'm going to let him speak about his players, give the individual awards. You guys can come up here.
What's up, everyone? First off, I want to express some gratitude for the whole program here, welcoming in a former Cub with open arms and stuff. So I appreciate that. That was awesome. This year's been amazing. I've really enjoyed every moment with the guys. We had, I think, 22 guys on our squad this year, and they put one 19, 20-year-old in charge of it. So, wow. Now 20. Wasn't 20 during the year, though. But it was awesome. I had a great time, and these guys were unbelievable. We had a really successful year. Finished third in the first JV tournament, which we were all disappointed with. Loyola took us down, which we weren't stoked about, but we ended up getting them back, which we were very, very happy about. Had a ton of success. We ended up ditching the second JV Redondo tournament because Avery thought it was best for us to go up and play in the varsity tournament, and that was the best ball we've played all year, and it was really amazing to see our team peaking at the end of the season against kids 2-3 years older than them, ending up winning the consolation bracket, having a winning record against varsity teams in that tournament. The only team we lost to took third, and our varsity team actually knocked them out in the semis. So I was extremely proud of our guys, and they're a great group of guys. So to start off, first guy I want to bring up here is Oliver Bach. Ollie's, first off, Ollie, at the beginning of the year, he didn't play club all year this year, and he came in and was ready to start for us from day one. Did a hell of a job, was a great teammate all year, and was always supporting. Acted as a leader on our team, being one of the older guys. I really appreciate everything he did for us this year. I'm really proud of him, and I'm really happy that he got to go up to the varsity team at the end of the year. It made me very happy. Next up, a guy I want to bring up, Mr. Dom Bell. My man Dom here was begging me on his hands and knees all year not to play middle. I had to put him in the middle because of some injuries we had, and he fulfilled his role brilliantly all year, man. This guy played so hard for us. Look, he talked a little trash at practice to everyone. Sometimes was a thorn in my side. But every time the lights turned on and we needed him to perform, he stepped the hell up and got it done for us. And I'm really proud of what he did for us this year. Next up, a guy I want to bring up, Jet Bathurst, come on up. Jet wasn't able to help us for the first half of the year, but as soon as he came into the lineup, he took over the starting role, and I don't think we lost a match when he was in there. So he did a hell of a job for us, and he's a great player. Excited to watch his future. Next up, Kai Bridges, come on up. Kai had never played indoor volleyball before this season, and he improved so much. Was a great teammate, and once again, another guy who was so unbelievably supportive from the crowd, from the stands, just supporting our team, learning the game of volleyball. He played every position for us. It was pretty awesome to see what he put in this year. Love you, man. Great job. Next up, our first freshman, I want to bring up Andrew Chapin. Andrew Chapin, I've known this kid since he was probably 7 years old. I've known how competitive he's been. He wants to win every single drill, will cheat, lie about scores in order to win drills. He's a great competitor, and he took the starting setter job and kept it all year as the only freshman on the setting position. So that was a great job by him. Next up, I want to bring up Charlie Court. This is a guy this year that I asked to play a lot of different positions. I pretty much told him he was competing for a starting spot all year and never guaranteed him being a starter. But when it came down and when it mattered, this kid performed and played great. And it was unreal to watch what he did, and I'm really excited to see what he does in the future. He was a great player. Next up is Mr. Izzy Dubinsky. Izzy is, there's a bunch of words I could use to describe Izzy. One word I could use is just mellow. He's easy to deal with. He's a great teammate. He has some unbelievable dialogue from the bench, trash-talking the opposing teams. I'd always have to tell him to be quiet, but it was unreal. It was great having him being a part of our group, and he's a good kid and a great player. Next up, I want to bring up Johnny Dykstra. He was our team captain this year and was one of our most consistent players, and he's got a bright future. And I'm really excited to watch what he does. He played pretty much great in every game we asked for him. He did a great job this year. I'm really, really proud of Johnny. I don't know if this guy's here, but Kyle, are you here? But Kyle, great kid, hard worker in practice, great kid. That's pretty much all I could say. Next up, this guy's not here, Danny Greenberg. He's currently training with the USA Beach team with Jake Gibbs, so that's pretty cool. And then also with Danny, he was injured for the beginning of the season. He hurt his ankle literally a week before the season. He was in line to be our starting opposite from the beginning. He got hurt. We asked other people to step up, and he came back at the end of the year. And in the Santa Barbara tournament against varsity opponents, he was a really, really big reason we won those games. He stepped up in a massive way for us, and it was awesome to see. I was really happy that he came back at the end of the year and was strong for us. That was awesome. This next guy was our key starting middle at the beginning of the year. Had a couple injuries that set him back, but he's a young freshman that's going to be a great player. Mr. Alex Hines, come on up here. Fun fact about Alex, I played high school football with his cousins, David Annawalt and Winston Annawalt, but shout out them. Alex is a great kid, and he did a great job for us this year. He's going to be a great player, and he's a good middle. We need middles. We're low on them. Next up, Tyler Hirschberg, come on up. He's another guy who just consistently brought a good attitude to practice every day. Every time I put him in the game, he came in and did his job, and he's just an overall great kid, great family. Love the Hirschbergs. Next up is Donovan Ivey. Donnie's a guy that was an outside opposite, and with our injuries and lack of depth in the middle, we moved him to the middle this year, and every time he played, he did a great job. We won some key games with him in there against CDM. He started and played middle, and we won that game. That was a big one. Thanks, Donnie. Great job, bud. Next up is a guy that started for us all year pretty consistently, and is a young freshman that's going to be a pretty dang good player, Connor Kaiser. Connor, the word I'd use to describe Connor is consistent. With just about everything he did on and off the court, he was a pretty consistent player and someone we relied on heavily to put the ball away and be our OH1 pretty much all year. Great job, Connor. Next up is another young freshman with about as much potential as anyone in this entire program. I'm really excited to see what he does in the future, and look out. Cooper Keene, come on up here. Cooper was a key player for us all year at outside. He's got a big, heavy arm. He's a big man, and he's only going to get bigger. He's the youngest player in the entire program. It's going to be exciting to see what he does. Great job, Cooper. Thank you for the year. Next up is a guy that isn't here, I don't believe, but was one of our, definitely, I'll spoil it, he's going to win our most improved award, Shane Mauser. He, beginning of the year, was probably third string, fourth string opposite, didn't play club volleyball at all. By the end of the year, he became our best opposite and was one of our most important players again in that varsity tournament, stepped it up when it mattered, and that was big time for us. This next guy, Shane Mauser, by the way, Shane Mauser. All right. This next guy I want to bring up, Parker Morgan. He's a guy who was consistently our middle one all year. He was in a tough situation for his club team. He came to high school. It seemed like he really brought joy. It brought joy back to his volleyball career, and it was really, really a great joy having him all year. He played great for us and was one of our key players, and it felt good seeing him start smiling again. So I was really happy for him. Great job, Parker. Next up is a guy, just a perfect guy to have on a team, Cale Sheeler, a guy that was a hardworking kid, worked his butt off. Every time I started him in a bunch of big games, he played his ass off and did everything he could to be on the court every day. It was always a hard decision whether he or Charlie Court was going to start, and it was a tough decision every week. Great job, Cale. Next up is a guy that isn't here, but was a key player for us this year as a junior, Jacob Tan. Oh, there he is. Never mind. Jacob's here. But Jacob was a very key player for us this year. He was a very good libero, and him and Johnny Dykstra were battling it out for the job all year, and Jacob would play back row outside for us. Never complained and did a hell of a job for us. Was one of our key players, and the reason we actually did end up beating Loyola. He was diamond balls. They kept serving him, which was a big mistake. Finally, last but certainly not least, Mr. Roman Verbin, come on up here. Roman is here, and Roman is a great kid. Wait, did Roman leave? I saw him.
Are you sure about that?
Oh, Roman's not here. Well, Roman's a great kid. That's quite on brand. All right. Ryan Rogers, are you here? Our manager? He is not. Another great guy, brought good energy to the practice gym and actually helped us out at practice a ton. All right, on to the awards. First up, we're going to go most valuable player. And this is a guy that was doing something that's nearly impossible, carrying a team from the libero position. Johnny Dykstra, come on up. He's a small guy. Oh yeah, you stay right there, but great job, Johnny. You did a heck of a job for us this year. General Excellence Award, which I also consider to be the most outstanding award, goes to a guy that was consistently great for us. Consistently on the court, consistently producing great numbers, and when it mattered, he played great for us. Connor Kaiser, congratulations. For me, inspiration comes in a multitude of ways, as Coach Ryan was saying, and this guy, it was just good. Like I said earlier, it was just really good to see someone step up when we needed him to step up, become the player we needed him to become, and pay some revenge against Loyola and against some of those club kids that he plays with that he doesn't like very much. Parker Morgan, congratulations, most inspirational. You did a great job this year, and I was really inspired watching you come back and enjoy volleyball again. It was unbelievable, and I'm really proud of you, and I'm glad that at the end of the year, you got to be with the varsity team, and I hope you continue playing because you're a great player. And then I already announced it, but Shane Mauser, most improved, and he did his job. Thank you, everyone. I got to go to club practice, but it's been an awesome year. Thank you so much.
Before you go. Yeah, let me say a few words about Coach Shano before he goes. One of the most exciting things for me that's happened to the program in a while is Shane coming over to coach the JV team. What an incredible spark of energy he's brought to all of us. What a great friend for me to have to hang out with every day and talk shop on and work on volleyball. He's put so much work into helping our varsity team. Been very helpful on the bench for me in varsity matches. But just in general, one thing I want to say about Shane is that there's just not going to be anybody you find who puts this much love and devotion into a JV volleyball team as far as mental energy, physical energy, passion, and just a real sense of love for his boys. As hard as Coach Shano coached the team, as physically tough as he coached the team, that's how much love he has for the boys and the families and the program and the game of volleyball in general. So thankful for the contributions he's made to our team. I know that the boys love him and respect him because of the way he shows them love in turn for as hard as practice is and as intense as practice is. It's been a big blessing to have you, Shano. You're my buddy, and I'm very proud of you, man. You did a great job this year, dude. And he's out. He's gone. Hop on his bike, disappear into the sunset.
I'll be there.
JV families, thank you all for an incredible season as well. I think it was one of our most successful JV seasons, and that's saying something. As Coach Cooker could tell you, by the way, Coach Cooker is here. We've had a lot of good JV seasons, but I think some of our finest moments within the whole program were turned in by the JV team this year. I will never forget the JV team winning, especially their first big win in the Santa Barbara varsity tournament against Dos Pueblos, right? Just an incredible match, 5-set match, so much intensity. I get to see the development of the JV team on the practice court next to us, and kind of watching the way the guys progressed in their game and then delivering that in a varsity match with the varsity guys up on top of the bench, on top of the bleachers, getting fired up for the JV team. That was one of the coolest moments of the entire season. And I think the JV's wins against other top programs just kind of show us how good of a future we have. But it's also just really fun for me to watch the JV play and the way that they kind of created a brand for themselves as a tough team, as a mentally tough team, as a physically tough team. That's really good for Costa to see guys play like that. And that has a lot to do with Shano, but that has a lot to do with just the boys on the team and the families that send them there. Again, I just think we've got some of the best families who send really quality boys to our program. So thank you, JV families. Thank you, JV boys, for a great season. Proud of you guys. Really good job. And that brings us to the last team in our program. And we're going to get into the varsity team and have Coach Greg come up here and help me with this. We're going to go into our varsity squad. And I'll get to talk a little bit more at the end about my assistant coaches with the varsity team. I'm looking forward to doing that, but we'll get into the boys first, huh, Coach? Okay. And we're going to go back and forth here and acknowledge each. Okay. Varsity team. We'll have a chance to wrap it up at the end, but we'll start with the players. First on my list, I want to talk about Kazra Alipur. You guys can come on up, and Coach has a gift for you. Kazra is a senior middle who came to our team as a freshman, and I think as far as the development process of anybody from a freshman to a senior, Kaz is one of the coolest examples of guys who stick with it and develop their game across a span of 4 years to get to that end goal of competing for the varsity team and helping the varsity team do championship things. That's what we're doing with all the guys, is trying to develop them into varsity contributors who actually make a difference. Kaz was a starting middle blocker almost the entire year and did some of the most important things that we needed on this team in a year where production out of the middle, blocking presence, offense out of the middle was so critical for us. Kaz gave everything that he had and everything that he learned over the years to be one of our guys and do it for us. And some of our biggest wins of the year came when Kaz was playing at his best. Like our win against Redondo, I'll never forget the way Kaz played in that match. And even to the very end, I think on Tuesday night, you were awesome, brother. Kaz is a story that I'm always going to remember as just one of the guys on the team that made a big impact on me and made a huge impact on the team in the end. A real big-time piece of this team. Good job, man.
Okay, this next person kind of flew under the radar until he showed up at tryouts and he made his name known. He was very versatile. He seemed to grow a lot since I remembered him from the year before. He can play multiple positions. He's a setter. He can hit. He can block. He's got a gnarly jump serve. He helped us in so many ways this entire season. Mason Stoddard.
That happened.
D-Bus, are you already breaking into your bar?
Not yet.
I saw you unwrap all my work.
I tried.
Did you keep the label? No, you destroyed it. It's okay.
I didn't.
Next up for me, I get to talk about Alex DiGilio. Alex has been such a solid guy for me to get to know in my life in general. So proud of the way that he developed as a player. I think that he came into the team. As a guy that we were really looking for contributions, blocking and using his size and his presence at the pin and his natural talent. I think Alex developed as a hitter as much as anybody developed the entire season, and we pushed him on that, and he responded. Over the course of a couple of years, he became a guy with a great arm who hit the ball hard and showed up and was really positive and set an example for hard work and consistency and intelligence on the court that was crucial to our team. And I wish I had you for several more years, man. I'm really going to miss you. So thank you, Alex, for what you did for our team, brother, and always a great Mustang dude.
All right, the next play that I have is Ethan Greenberg. And I think the first thing you recognize about this guy is just how smart he is in life and on volleyball court. I think he is the only player on the varsity level that I could trust and let the team be itself and not me like reminding to watch where the setter is front row, stuff like that. He was like a coach on the court. He was a middle to start his career at Costa and ended up an outside. He does a lot of things very well, serving, passing, defense, hitting, blocking, you name it. This guy can do it all, and we were really lucky to have him this year. Ethan.
Next up for me, I get to talk about Stone Seligson. Stone Seligson. I'm really proud of Stone because I think we pushed Stone as hard as we pushed anybody this year as far as being intense with our coaching. I think we asked a lot out of him. And a lot of that, yeah, for sure. A lot of that came out of the situation that he found himself in when our starting oppo, Chaz, was injured. Stone stepped into a full-time role, playing oppo all the way around. And that's a really hard ask for a sophomore in high school, to play oppo all the way around, to be a D-ball threat. We pushed him to be a better defender. We pushed him to grow with his range attacking. We pushed him on his setting in transition as he's kind of come as a setter right side. Pushed him on a ton of things. And he responded to a lot of tough coaching, a lot of big asks from the staff, from all of us, from his teammates who asked a lot out of him. And you saw the kind of things that he was able to deliver this year. It's so exciting to see a sophomore oppo playing this well. I think you saw on Tuesday night some of the game that he can bring. So Stone's come a long way, bro. We're very proud of you, man. You're a good teammate and a really good player in development right now. Thank you, man, for being so coachable and delivering as much as you did to our team. We couldn't have got very far without you. Good job.
Okay, next up is Garrett Grombach. This guy has an absolutely lethal arm, but what happened with him was he just took off at the end of the season. Like all practices, he just seemed to dominate. I think he won multiple scrimmages, won 5-0 the last practice we had. Just seemed to put it all together at the end of the season when it counted most. And because of this, he earned crucial playing time at both outside and right side front row in probably the biggest matches of the year in the quarterfinals of state and the semis of CIF. And to put someone in that amount of pressure and for him to succeed in that was really incredible to see. So congrats, Garrett. Awesome season.
Next up for me, I'm really grateful to talk about Chaz Wedbush. Chaz makes his way up. I think Chaz to me, I'll remember as being one of the more dominant players that we've had at Costa in my time as a coach. I am so impressed by the game that Chaz has delivered. And just the incredible arm talent and the incredible feel for the game and range attacking, presence blocking, and just the power and physicality of the game that Chaz brought. I think last year on the championship team, Chaz didn't get to be on the court at the end of the year while he was dealing with an injury. On a team full of dominant championship players, Chaz was one of the most dominant players, I think, on that team. And I think for the time that he was healthy this year, particularly at Best of the West, we got to see the kind of things he could do on the court. Like just putting a hole in that kid's neck, hitting a D-ball at Best of the West. Just one of the most impressive swings I've seen in high school volleyball. I'll wrap it up, but Chaz's injury broke my heart because I knew the kind of contributions that he could make to our team, but I also know about the, of all the good things Chaz is going to go on to do in his life. Chaz is a great volleyball player, and in the time that he had to show us what he could do, he really did. And I'm also just so grateful that he's got an incredibly well-rounded life. However much volleyball he plays, he will do other things just as well or better for the rest of his life. And I'm going to miss Chaz so much, man. Thank you for everything you did for the team. Yeah. One of our captains this year, Chaz.
All right, next guy up, Zach Chicky Chape Chapin. This guy definitely made a mark on me, even when he was a freshman on JV last year. He just has a swagger, a volleyball IQ, just a nose and a knack for the game that's really impressive. He never gives up. He's never, I guess, uncomfortable in any situation, even though he maybe should be. He just steps up to the occasion and rises to it. The fact that he ended up being our starting libero, challenging two other seniors, and he took the spot, I mean, says all you need to hear about this guy. This guy's a future legend for sure, Zach Chapin.
Next up for me, Reese Leonard. Reese! Everywhere we go throughout the year, I just hear sounds in the hallway like, I just knew it was Reese. Reese came up and played a little bit at the end of last year on the Frosh team. And I didn't know Reese very much then, but I saw just incredible natural talent out of him the first time he came and played. I saw him play on the Frosh team against Loyola. I think that was the first match he played in for the Frosh team at our home gym last year. And it was just really clear that this guy had incredible athletic talent, but volleyball talent too. And then it was so exciting, that he continued to develop. We got to have him on the varsity team. He went through some injuries, but I think that as a pure volleyball player and as a pure athlete, Reese is one of the most athletic and pure players that we've had in a while. And I know that he's really good at a lot of things, but I'm grateful that we got some time out of him for volleyball. and some of the things he did for the team, just from like a brotherhood and cultural point, like the way he made contributions as a sophomore to the overall culture of the team, and just the lack of fear that he played with. He never played nervous or afraid of any situation. He just took a rip at the ball from the outside. Was really special. So stoked on Reese. Thank you for what you did this year, man. Yeah.
All right, next guy up for me. Oh, this guy's incredible. Dylan Wagyu Mike Warner. This guy's a jack of all trades. He does so many things well. He's an outside hitter. He's a libero. He passes, brings the heat on a jump serve if he wants. He'll serve nasty floats. He just does everything you ask of him with no complaints ever. He just looks to get better. He's so coachable and just an overall awesome guy. If there's one guy I wish we could find more time on the court, it would be Dylan. But the fact is, he was our safety net in so many spots that if anything went wrong, we needed him. So kind of like putting him on the court in situations would take away if something really happened and went down, and we couldn't afford to do that. So I wish there's a way we could find more time for him, because he definitely deserved it. But he stepped up in every role we asked him to do, and he did it so well. And he got himself court time in huge matches all season long, and he's just an absolutely great player, Dylan Warner.
One of my favorite plays of the season was when Wagyu stuffed that kid on the pin to end one of the sets against Punahou. That was awesome. Best block of the year. Okay, next up for me, I get to talk about Noah Lee. I've been around Noah in his volleyball journey since 14th year of club, and Noah's presence on any volleyball team that he's on is such a weapon, because his presence is so positive and so good and kind, and yeah, a guy like him on your team you could just never have enough of as a coach. And I'm so excited to continue coaching Noah with all of the athleticism that he has and all the arm talent and ability that he has. And just the way that I know that he's going to continue to work. I'm glad he's only a junior and we get more time with Noah. But what he meant to this team, we needed a guy exactly like him, who was always positive and always practiced with a lot of heart. And I'm so grateful for Noah. Like I say, to have more of him. I can never have enough Noahs on the team. So thank you, bro, and for everything you did for us and everything you went through. You're awesome. Love you, brother.
Next guy up for me. This guy changed my perspective on how well this team would do this season. I was pretty optimistic about our team's chances coming in, and then when I saw our tryouts and I saw Murphy Glasgow in the gym, I knew we'd be trouble to deal with. We definitely knew we were going to have some holes in the middle, and then this guy came up, and no one can stop him in tryouts. And the same thing continued all season long. I think he hit 8 out of 11 against, who was that? Who was our last one? Beckman. I think 8 out of 11 against Beckman. I think he just hits it at an incredible percentage all season long. He is just dominant in the middle. He brings the most fire than anyone does on our entire team. He gets everyone fired up, and he just tries to do the best he can at all times. He always puts his best effort forward, and you see it. You see the results, and he gets them. He gets results every time he's on the court. Murphy Glasgow.
A couple times during the year, I thought Murph went down with like season-ending injuries, and then he just Wolverine healed himself on the court, and he was back. So, nice way to heal yourself. Okay, hey, the next guy I get to talk about is my bud Will Soderlund. Don't sleep on Sod. Sod's a guy whose volleyball journey through Miracosta has been really awesome for me since I've known him, also since he was really young. And I'm grateful for all the time that I got to spend with him. From the time he was super young, even until right now, watching Sod play is really a joy. Like an undersized outside, a guy who can pass and attacks the ball with a lot of like fearlessness, and and rips, but then also just is one of the best friends, I think, to everybody on the team. I think that he played some big moments for us. When he's playing well, the rest of the team is truly excited, and that's how you know that this is a guy that's an important part of the team and part of the character of the team. When he's going and playing well, everyone's enjoying that, and we all are. So, yeah, I'm really happy that, through everything, through all the years at Costa, he stuck with it and played and contributed some things that really meant a lot to me and to the whole team. And I think as long as this guy is around, and as long as he's alive, he's going to play volleyball, and he's going to be a really good volleyball player for life. I just have that feeling about him. So thanks, Sode. Thanks for everything you did for us, dude. A great staying, Will Soderling.
All right, the next guy up, I do not believe is here. But if you've seen us play, you've definitely noticed this guy when he's on the court. He's got a endless passion and enthusiasm for the game. He's a high flyer. He absolutely crushes the ball. He's really important in this team's success this season and the next 2 seasons. What is he at USA Volleyball right now, probably? Victor Loyola.
Yeah, thanks. We don't know, Victor and Tread have made the U19 national team to go compete in Guatemala for USA Volleyball. It's a big-time deal for a couple of young guys like that. So congratulations to those guys. I wish you were here. We're very, very, very proud of Victor and Tread for making that team. That's incredible stuff. That's yeah, and what those guys can do as players, we see it every day. So it's not a surprise to us that they made that team. The next guy, I'm not going to ask you to get up, bro, but I get to talk about Akea. Yeah. We'll deliver this to you, man. Akea is the first of my years coaching at Costa. He's the first freshman that I've ever put on the team. He's the only freshman that has been able to do that in my time coaching Costa, and this is year 5 for me. And I think that my expectations were that he could come in and be a guy that could back us up and help us in practice and would develop and grow this year and be a guy that we were grooming for the future, but also, just help us to compete in practice and keep things strong. Akea totally exceeded those expectations in every way, in the way that he performed from day one. First of all, earned everybody's respect as a freshman. You kind of forgot almost immediately that he was a freshman. It wasn't like a recurring thing. He was just one of the guys. And then he competed and contributed on the court by being a physical force and a good learner on the court. So Akea was a key piece as a middle blocker, as a right side blocker throughout the year. As a freshman, probably won't see this happen again for a really long time. So congratulations, Akea. I'm sorry you're dealing with an injury right now, but we know we got more years out of you, and we're really excited about that, bro, and to have you and your family around. So good job.
All right, next one up for me is our court leader, a captain. I call him a wizard just because of the magic he pulls out on the court. He is an incredible setter. I can't, in the maybe 10 years since I've been here, I think this is the best setter we've had, like just a pure setter. He makes, he makes shit shine. You give him a bad pass, and he's still going to get a hitter, like the most incredible set that he can actually do something with and like actually take an advantage and a good swing on. He's a great defender. His IQ is like off the charts. I don't know how many kills he's got just setting the ball over the net by suckering someone in and shooting him deep corner or something smart like that. He's crafty beyond his age. He's Jason Walmer.
All right, next guy that I get to talk about, Cam Konis. Cam Konis has been a guy that I think everybody has loved playing with for 4 years at Costa, and a dude that I've loved watching. I remember something I really remember is how much love and respect and admiration Coach Emma had for Cam last year. the conversations that I had when she was coaching the JV team last year about Cam and the way he played and the way he competed for the team. You know, you just don't hear coaches talk about every player that way, especially just coach to coach. And it was really awesome to hear all that. And then when he came up to this varsity team, Coach was just talking about Jason's ability to make magic. If there's two guys who make the most magic happen on the court, it's Jason and Cam. As far as being able to pull a play off that nobody else could pull, that was Cam. Like, magically appearing to make a touch, a cover, stabbing the ball and making a dig. Just making, like, incredibly instinctual, awesome volleyball plays that came with a lot of passion for just being a kid who loves the game, loves the ball, and would die to keep it off the floor. And then some of the ways that he attacked serves with no fear, with total intentionality, cracked a serve at a tough team down the stretch. I don't know if we're in the CIF semis getting past Mater Dei if it wasn't for him and some of the serves that he cracked in that game. Just totally fearless and the way he played. I so appreciate that kind of fearless play, man. So thank you, Cam. I really miss you doing what you did. You're such a good player with the future.
All right, the last guy I have the honor to bring up here is a guy that was actually put in the toughest position of anyone on the squad. He's a senior. He was asked to lead the entire team in a position that's not his first choice in positions. He does everything well. He flies, he passes well, plays incredible D, absolutely gets up when he crushes the ball. He's everything we could have asked for this season. The best part about him is he played his best ball in the biggest matches, and that's Mick Bakos.
And one more player that I get to talk about who's not here right now, just want to talk about Tread Rosenthal. Tread, like we say, is with the U19 national team right now with Victor. I'm just really grateful for Tread. You know, background on Tread is he came here from Texas. He's got a future in volleyball. You can see from just his talent, his size. His family really went out on a limb and moved him. He and his dad came out here so that he could pursue volleyball. Came to Costa. Instantly became great friends with all these guys on the team. Just an incredibly good friend to everybody right away. Ingrained himself into the culture of the team, helped establish the culture of this team and this young core that we have going into the future. So much of it is built around like the passion that Tread plays with. But as far as like moving to a new town, meeting new guys, leaving stuff behind, being away from some of your other family, Tread did all that with a really great attitude. He's also become a guy that I think just fell in love with Costa, wants to be here, wants to help us, wants to play for this school. That's a big deal. So we're really grateful for that. I'm grateful for his family and what they have sacrificed to make that possible. So I just wanted to comment on Tread and say I'm really thankful for him, and I hope I'm thankful to everyone who made Tread and his family feel so welcome. So stoked on Tread and that he's here. I'm really happy for him and the U19 team. And then as we wrap it up, is Gavin here? No Gavin? Yeah. Gavin had something important? I just want to comment real quick on Gavin Zimmerman. Hey, Gavin was our team manager for the varsity this year, kind of teamed up with D-Bus. Grateful for him, and Gavin is one of the funniest kids I've ever met in my entire life. I got to know him before he came to be the manager, but man, like in terms of just keeping us light and having good energy with the team, awesome manager. Thank you, Gavin, wherever you are. Yeah, Gavin Zimmerman is a great manager for us. Okay, let me take a moment to talk about my assistant coaches, and then I want to ask them if they could share any further words, especially Cooker. I'd like to hear from him. Let me start with Cooker, actually. You know, I've told my version of this story a couple times. When I interviewed for the job as a head coach at Miracosta, I sat at a conference table with Dr. Dale, Mr. Marks, the athletic director. I can't even recall everyone else who was there, and Coach Cook. It was my first time meeting him. I'm not from the South Bay. I grew up in Redlands. I'm not, I'm not a guy that would have been on the radar of the South Bay volleyball community. I'm an outsider coming in to coach Mira Costa. Could definitely feel the skepticism in the room from Coach Cook about me. Who is this guy that I've never seen before coming in to coach the team? And that's understandable because I am just a guy that came in to coach the team I don't have my roots here. And I had a lot to prove to everyone. I still feel that way every day when I come to work. I've been very, very, very grateful for the relationship that I've got to build with Cooker over the years because I know how much he cares about this program. He wouldn't be willing to let just anybody make some of these decisions and work on this and try to keep us in a position to be competitively great every year. This is his passion, and this is and his passion for it is really, the competitive success means a lot to him because he knows what that means for character development and memories. He has a great understanding of the perspective of that. But Coach Cook loves the boys, always has. Loves Mira Costa more than I think anybody has ever loved Mira Costa. Loves Mira Costa, wants to see Mira Costa do well, wants to see it reflected well, wants to see it represented well. And so over time, I'm just really grateful for the relationship that's developed. I have deep trust in him. I've appreciated the trust that he's shown in me. I know what kind of a person he is. Everyone does. And the way that he's shown his appreciation for me and the way that he showed up to work to come and contribute to the varsity team is really special. And I just want to say from my personal perspective, having Cooker as a mentor in my life is a big deal. I'm really grateful for that. So thank you, Cooker, for letting me be a part of the program.
Your words are too. Can you hear me? His words are too kind. The only thing that I would like to say is my parting words of the varsity after losing down there at Beckman. The year was very important for these young men in that they'll reflect back on it, and they'll reflect back on it with a lot of joy because a lot of kids on the team, probably 18, 19 or so kids, but they all got along so wonderfully well, and that's what's really important. And it's a tribute to them, a tribute to the parents, a tribute to the coaches for developing that. But those are the kind of memories that we have to be making, memories of joy in high school. Thank you very much for everything.
Okay, thanks, Cooker. And I want to say a few words about my good friend Greg Snyder. I'm so happy that we got to have another year coaching together. It's been such a special thing to have a friend as close as Greg, who's become a guy who's become this close of a friend to me. Now coaching several years together, brother, I think we get better at it each year. We figure it out. There's great continuity, and there's just a great coverage of each other's spots, as I think you said once. As far as a guy who I can count on to be diligent in doing the details of just focused preparation, and then just a guy who cares about practice being a quality experience every day, intentionality,